Hello, hello, Jen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to West Virginia. Hello, Trinity. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. Excited to see your faces. Okay. It's been a minute. Excited to see your faces. All right. And when I say your faces, obviously I do not see your faces. Okay. But yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in. The rebirth of wisdom. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. I do recognize your face icon. The rebirth of wisdom. I do recognize your face icon. All right. So I do have a bit to share. Again, it's been a little bit since I've been on. I had to do a visa run. I had to go renew my visa. So this time I chose to do it a little differently. Okay, so there could be something that you're doing a little differently this time around, this incarnation, something that you're doing a little differently. All right. So yeah, again, I do have some things to share here. This channel, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, welcome in. My name is Nehru, and I am an esoteric guide, spiritual Gaia beacon here on this planet, born on the 333rd day of the year. This is my last incarnation here, and I look forward to fulfilling all that is in my Akashic contracts. Okay, or contract, I said contracts. So there are various contracts within the contract. Okay, friendship contracts within the contract. Okay, spiritual brothers and sisters that you are reconnecting with, that you connected with here in the past and in other places in the past who have joined you on your journey here in human incarnated form. All right. Hello, just call me Steph. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for doing. What are you doing? Just call me Steph. What are you doing? What are you doing, Step? Okay, I am doing very well. Okay, Step, there's something you're doing. I was gonna say something about what are you doing? I don't know. All right. So those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this channel is formerly the Real Psychic Investigators. Okay, and so we are, yeah, we're gonna get into some things here that Divine Source has shared with me, um, and yeah, okay, we'll get some confirmations for you as well. All right, as usual. Nice. Waiting for me to come on. I see. I see. I see. All right. Okay. We have no problem. Those of you who are tuning in for the first time, okay? I am not politically correct, okay? And if it's bullshit, it's bullshit, okay? So if we have to kick somebody out of this room, then we do it, okay? If we have to call somebody's bullshit out, we do it, okay? We do it, okay? There is no shame in our spiritual game, okay? There is no shame in our spiritual game, okay? All right. So thank you so much for tuning in, Allie. Okay, Allie Max. Thank you so much for tuning in again. We are going to get some confirmations for your journey, okay? But I do have some spiritual wisdom, okay, to impart, to share, what have you, okay? Some of you may know of these things, okay? I learn from you, you learn from me. It's a reciprocal relationship, okay? So yeah, we have no problem kicking karmic asses or dope. Those who come on here and say dumb shit, we have no problem kicking their ass out, okay? I am in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, okay? And I woke up this morning. It is 9:20 in the morning here in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. I woke up this morning and realized I am 2 months away from traveling in Southeast Asia for a year. I arrived in Malaysia was my first stop on 5/5, okay? I arrived in Malaysia on Cinco de Mayo of last year. 5 times 5 is also a 25. That was a perfect day for me, okay? In synchronicity and numerology. Perfect day that I arrived here in Malaysia, Southeast Asia, okay? So I am 2 months away from being here a year. How about that? Okay? How about that? All right. Hello, Vicky. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right. So there's a lot that I'm going to share here before we get confirmations for your journey. I was, those of you who watch the community tab or check the community tab, that's the post button, okay? If you check the community tab, I recently was invited to a Buddhist teaching, okay? I do not resonate with simply being a Buddhist, okay? I do not resonate with simply being any, okay? I learn from all of these spiritual practices, okay? Some of them are spiritual, and the ones that are religious, or the ones that doesn't feed me, the ones that don't feed me doesn't feed me. The ones that don't feed me, okay, I release, okay? So there are things within, Buddhism and that sort of thing that doesn't feed me, okay? And yeah, so those are things that I don't practice, okay, or adhere to, okay? I'm highly drawn to Hinduism, okay, but there are things about Hinduism, okay, that don't feed me, so I don't embrace those things, all right? And so feeling a bit like Yeshua, okay? And speaking of which, I know for most of you it's Friday evening, okay? It's Friday evening currently, but Sunday morning at 10 a.m., that's 10 p.m. my time, okay? But Vietnam is 12 hours ahead of Eastern time in the United States, and then from there you can determine, the time difference between where I am physically and where you are physically. Okay, confirmation, Bert. So let me go ahead and get into some notes that I have written down here. Always like to give public shout outs or notifications for those public subscribers that I receive notifications for. So shout out to Riley Roberts, okay, that is a unique spelling of their first name, Riley Roberts, Ryley, okay. Thank you so much for tuning in, Riley, okay. And Jerry Mason, thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you who are part of the last live, looking at, it's 11 people in the room, okay, and 11 likes. If you were part of the last live, okay, we spent a bit of time with Whitney Houston's spirit, okay? We spent a bit of time with Whitney Houston's spirit, okay? The one who was known as Whitney Houston that lifetime. And we talked about her journey. We talked about the choices that she made, that led to her leaving this physical earth at the young age of 48, okay? And I said that I was going to go and listen to some of her songs, and I did. I listened to some songs on a playlist of hers, and one of the songs that stood out to me, or that keeps reverberating, okay, is I want to run to you, okay? All right, I want to run to you, okay? And in that song, she talks about being kind of scared, okay? Someone who isn't always strong, okay? They feel so all alone. They want to run to you, but the question is, will you stay or will you run away? Okay? And my answer to whoever that doesn't have to be a romantic thing, okay? My answer to that is whoever it is, it all depends on them. It all depends on their aura, their energy. It all depends on them, okay? And I watch long enough, I watch energy, I watch aura long enough to determine if they're faking the funk. You know what I mean? So watch them long enough to determine if they're faking the funk. Okay? So don't just jump into bed with them. Okay? Don't just jump into a wedding, jump into a proposal, jump into watch them long enough to determine if they're the one running to you. I hope you are not someone running to someone else, okay? And if you are, I hope you're divinely guided to do so, and you're just not doing that for karmic reasons. Okay? They have a lot of money, okay? They look good. Everybody wants a good-looking man, okay? All women want a good-looking man. All women want a good-looking man. All men, okay, that are upright want a good-looking woman, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, you need to be physically attracted to the one that you are divinely connected to, or the one that you are in love with or loving, or what. We all want that. Okay, we all want that, right? But these are not the top priorities in your journey. Okay, you might want someone who doesn't have a mustache. They might have a mustache when you meet them. You know what I mean? So don't pay attention so much. Don't put so much energy into the physical. It's the aura and the energy that they bring, okay, that really makes the difference in the relationship. Not every high vibrational energy that you meet is a romantic relationship. Not every high vibrational energy that you meet is a romantic relationship. And it's if it's meant to be a cohesive connection for you, okay, and you mess that up by giving them your cooch or giving them your wand, then you sacrifice the purpose of that relationship, okay? Because not all of them are for that, okay? Yeah, looks are never everything. Ashel said, looks aren't always everything. Looks are never, not always, looks are never everything. Never everything. I had a conversation with someone recently, an esoteric conversation, and she shared with me 3 photos, okay, of 3 beings that are, I don't know, interested in her, came across her energy, whatever else. One of them is a model, okay, a male, okay, one of them is a model, but he suffers from extreme low self-esteem, okay? So physically, he's a very nice looking guy, okay? But he suffers from self-esteem issues, okay? He thinks he's not attractive, he thinks he's ugly, he thinks he's right. So that is someone who lacks a tremendous amount of solar plexus strength, okay? Their solar plexus strength is at 0. That's your self-confidence, self-esteem, and willpower. Their solar plexus chakra is at a 0, maybe even depleted, negative, okay? But they're a model in the 3D, okay? So how is this contrast possible? Because they're unaware that they are spiritual beings having a human experience. And so when they look at themselves, they do not see themselves the way that divine has created them. They see themselves as the ugly duckling. That is someone who has not done the spiritual work, that's for sure, okay? So someone who's a model but think themselves to be ugly, yeah, they have a lot of work to do. That is not the one for you, okay? Or you need to release them to do their spiritual work, and if they don't do their spiritual work, then leave them in the dust. And I don't mean leave them like a relationship. Hopefully you're not in a relationship with them, but and the dust spiritually leave them. They're not ready for you. Okay? They are not. Okay? So yeah, all right. So during this recent puja, okay, with the Buddhist master that I met here at the hotel that I am in, this hotel has really been, the family has really been a tremendous, tremendous blessing for me. And I kind of walked to it, you know, to me, it was just another hotel. It was a place that was affordable, and yeah, a place that fit my budget, as you, if you will. And but what I did not know, okay, is that this family has been a chosen family, okay, and not a chosen family for me, but this is where the Buddhist master, who actually resides in Colorado in the America, okay, in America, uh, yeah, that individual, okay, they have to they have to get off my porch. Okay. Hello, Melissa. Okay. And so uh, I realized when I was in this ceremony, okay, in honoring of our ancestors and that, I realized, and they were the master teacher, they were the speaker, okay. I did record a short video of the inside, you know, of them teaching and that sort of thing, but I was sitting right by the fan, and so there's a lot of noise. I may or may not post that short. So there's a lot of background noise because of where I was seated, right by the fan, okay, right by the fan. You could be seated, confirmation Hornox, you could be seated right next to your fan, right next to your biggest fan, okay? And it was a big fan, that's why there was a lot of noise. But it was to help keep the room clean or cool, clean. There was probably 60 to 70 beings present in that ceremony, okay? But when I was sitting there, I was just thinking about my journey, okay? And here's the first lesson, if you will, for this live. I was thinking, not that the other ones weren't, okay? Because definitely knowing who is for your good and who is not, who is running to you, and whether or not you should stay or if you should go, that's important, obviously. That's a lesson for some. I was sitting and I was just thinking about my journey, okay? Thinking about my journey, and I got something, okay? So what is all this for, right? So again, this was formerly the Real Psychic Investigators. So we investigate crime. We reveal things about secret societies, your journey, other journeys around the world concerning the 8.4 billion beings on this planet. What is all of this for, right? And Divine shared something with me at that time. And Divine said, it is a part of, or it is for your self-realization. So why did the karmics come against you? For self-realization. Okay? Why did your spouse be unfaithful to you and step out on you? For self-realization. For you to realize that you were better than them and you deserve better than they were giving you, so that you could hopefully walk away, okay? Why were your children, why is your son or your daughter rebellious today, okay? It's for self-realization. And I'm talking about grown-ass sons or daughters, okay? Why? Why don't they follow your instructions, your advice, okay? You are just an advisor to your grown son or daughter. You are not a parent, or at least you should not be trying to be, okay? You need to put that stick down. But it's for your self-realization, okay? And this is why nothing is a coincidence, okay? So the woman that was unfaithful to you, the one you found out that was doing witchcraft, black magic, the Buddhist master teacher spoke about black magic and how to not have that black magic come against you, okay? They gave lessons on how to deter the black magic, okay? And again, get out of those situations. Very interesting, very, very interesting ceremony and lessons, okay? And again, he's based in Colorado, so he flew over here just as I flew over here. Again, so very, very divinely led journey for me, I know for sure. Very divinely led journey. I didn't know them, okay, before I met them here at this hotel. All right. Um, so yeah, okay. So self-realization journey, that's what it was for. Whenever you have to ask, why is this happening to me? For confirmation horn honks for your self-realization journey. Okay? Um, so there are things, okay, that I was challenged by in that ceremony, okay? For one, the length of time. The length of time, okay? That was one. Hello, Tammy. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I was challenged by the length of time, okay? And we were there for probably 3 hours, okay? To me, that's a long ass time to be sitting down on a mat that is this thin. You know what I mean? That's just speaking, just from a physical standpoint, that's a long ass time. Okay? That's a long ass time. Okay? So you could be feeling like something is a long time or what have you. Okay? But that's a long ass time. All right. Um, One of the things that Steve said to me, and if you do not know, when I reference Steve, when I talk about anybody and I mention their names, it could be relevant for you. But when I talk about Steve, I am speaking to I am speaking to Stephen Lee Parker, who was the senior minister at the Rock of Central Florida. That was my last religious journey. I was there for 20 years. I was sent there out of the military. I started getting cassette tapes way back in 2002. Cassette tapes way back in 2002. And Divine sent me to this place. Steve was supposed to be a spiritual connection for me, okay? But Steve was reluctant to embrace spirituality. He wanted to stay between Genesis and Revelation, okay? Steve wanted to stay between Genesis and Revelation. He did not believe in numerology. He does not believe in angels. I don't know who he thinks Michael is when he reads about Michael between Genesis and Revelation. You know what I mean? When the angels came to visit Yeshua, when the angels came to visit Paul, okay? I don't know. I don't know what the Steve thinks about that, but I found out that he does not believe in those things. And when I found out those things, I left. Okay? One of the things that Steve said, and it's interesting, one of the things that Steve said when I shared with him about a meeting I had with a prophet in a grocery store who showed up, okay, I don't know them, okay, Steve said he didn't believe that it took 30 minutes for someone to have this conversation with me, okay, but Steve's church services last 2 hours, okay, an hour and a half to 2 hours. So if Steve didn't believe that it took an hour or 30 minutes, okay, for that divine being to come to me in human form and to tell me those things, okay, some of those things have happened, some of those things have not. Some of those things happened immediately, months after I met that individual, that being, okay. Some of the things happened months, like the same year, okay. So if Steve doesn't believe that, why does Steve's church services last an hour and a half to 2 hours then? That's the question I have for Steve. Okay. So on my way back from my visa run, okay, so I took a bus from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, okay, yesterday to the Cambodian border, okay, to Cambodia. And I did post a little short video where I'm standing between Vietnam border and Cambodia border. I did a little, I don't know, minute and a half video or something like that. And I did receive favor, okay, not just in getting the visa renewed, okay, but just in my general travels, okay. And on my way back, Okay, it was a 12-hour journey. There's something about a 12-hour tour. Okay, Gilligan's Island. Okay, let's sit right back and we'll hear a tale of a faithful ship. Okay, Gilligan's Island. Okay, that was a 3-hour tour, a 12-hour tour. Okay, and so I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning on Friday to catch this bus at 5 o'clock in the morning to arrive to the border, okay, get my visa stamp, my exit stamp from Vietnam, okay, get my entry stamp into Cambodia, wait in Cambodia or wait at the border until my visa to enter back into Vietnam was approved. Once that happened, then I could enter back into Vietnam. Then I had to take the 2-hour journey back to the hotel. Okay. And so there's something significant about 40. Okay. 40. There's something significant about 40. Someone could be 40 this year. They could be, if they're turning 40 this year, listen to this. If whatever age you're turning this year, you are already in that year esoterically. Okay. So when I turn 52, physically, this body, when it turns 52 on the 333rd day of the year this year, okay, when it turns 52, I am already in my 52nd year, the year of 7. So on the 52nd birthday begins my 53rd year. I hope that makes sense to you. So if you are 39, you are already in your year of 40. Okay? A jubilee, a spiritual jubilee, is every 25 years. Okay? So if you are turning 50 this year or you are turning 25 this year, I want you to know, or if you did within the few months that have already come and gone, okay, you are already in that jubilee. Okay, so if you are 24 physically, you turn 25 this year, you are in your first jubilee. Okay, the year of your first jubilee specifically. If you are 49 and you turn 50 this year and your birthday has not yet come on the calendar, okay, you are already in your second jubilee. Okay, but on my way back from this visa run, I'm sitting there and I'm just looking outside, enjoying all of the chaotic traffic here in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. All of the motorbikes, and it's 18 million motorbikes, okay? 18 million motorbikes here in Ho Chi Minh City alone, okay? Not in Vietnam, in the city alone, 18 million motorbikes, okay? So traffic is, yeah, it would give some of you anxiety. You might have to close your eyes when you're traveling in the taxi here, right? And I'm just looking outside, observing the heres and theres, okay? And Divine spoke to me and said the 16th level, okay? The 16th level, okay? And I was like, what is the 16th level? What is the 16th level, okay? And again, I don't read a lot, okay? If Divine gives me something, then I go read about it, okay? But I don't sit there for hours reading a book. That is not my journey, okay? And I'm glad, okay? I don't do that, all right? But if Divine gives me something specifically, I go do my research and I do my due diligence for myself and so that I can bring that information to you, all right? And so the 16th level, okay? So this morning when I woke up, spending time with Divine, okay? 16th level, and then the rest of it came through. 16th level of spiritual perfection is the rest of it. So 16th level of spiritual perfection. And the 16th level of spiritual perfection speaks to this in brief, okay? This is in spiritual physiology, okay? Spiritual physiology, okay? This speaks to reaching the highest form, okay? Whatever that form is, the form of you, the form of divine source, reaching that highest form, okay, of miraculousness or miracles. Okay, so being able to alchemize, being able to perform these miracles. Okay, the religious book and the teachers out there in the religious sect, they would lead you to believe, okay, that Yeshua was the only one who could turn water to wine. They would, and that's alchemizing, they would lead you to believe that Yeshua is the only one who could heal leprosy. They lead you to believe that Yeshua is the only one who could walk on water. Peter showed us otherwise. But Yeshua, okay, they lead you to believe that you can't perform these miracles. You can't get to such a spiritual level, okay, because they were the only begotten Son. So you can't get to that level, you human, okay? They would lead you to believe that. But I'm here to tell you that is a lie. Yes, and 16 does break down to a 7, okay? Only one. Thank you so much for tuning in, okay? And so, yeah, all right? So Yeshua is not the only one who can heal leprosy, okay? Yeshua is not the only one, okay, who can pray for a limb, Ashe. Yeshua is not the only one who can pray for a limb and it grow back, okay? Yeshua is not the only one. I healed this physical body of seizures at the age of 8. Medical professionals had no answer of seizures at the age of 8. Yeshua is not the only one, okay? They came here to show you, just as I am, just as others have come here to show us. I learned from them. Again, I learned from you like you learned from me, okay? So they are not the only ones. If they did it, you can do it. Somebody needs to say that. If they did it, I can do it. If they did it, I can do it. And yes, you can. Yes, you can. All right? So the 16th level of spiritual perfection, this does not deal with getting everything right in the earthly sense of perfection. That's not what this speaks to. Okay? Spiritual perfection. Yeah, confirmation horn honk for you, Allie, baby. Confirmation horn honk, Allie. Okay? Yeah, that's right. So spiritual perfection does not speak to getting everything right, okay? It does not, and thank goodness, okay? Because one of the things that that challenges me, we are in the middle of a Mercury retrograde, by the way. What's up, Christine? Shout out to you, sugar. Here we go now, a regular in the room. Yep, here we go. Going boom. All right, going boom, Christina. Going boom, Christine. So thank you so much for tuning in. All right. So, yeah, okay. Perfection does not speak to the earthly sense in the way that man grades your paper. Oh, yeah, you got everything right. That's not what that speaks to. Okay. Oh, there you go. Confirmation. Okay. So once it's interesting that two people have said, okay, that I just came up on their feed. Okay, we have 15 in the room and 19 likes. 15 in the room and 19 likes. Thank you so much, everyone, for the love. Okay, so someone was speaking to me about the rebranding thing and all of that. And I'll be honest with you, okay, one of my challenges along my journey, greetings, your favorite show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Right? One of my challenges as I continue to grow and divine continues to expand my territories, okay? So those of you who have seen this live and it just popped up on your whatever YouTube channel, YouTube feed or whatever, you are a part of the expansion, okay? And that of the energy. I'm saying, so thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your energy, okay? Thank you so much for being open to receiving whatever it is that divine wants to share here. All right. But in perfecting, that's not in the definition of man, imperfect, like 100 out of 100. That's not what that means. Okay. Spiritual perfection means Yeshua was spiritual perfection. Okay. That doesn't mean they didn't spill their coffee. That doesn't mean they didn't stub their toe on the counter corner. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that they never made a mistake when they wrote something down. That doesn't mean, okay, that's not what that means. Spiritual perfection is not a natural or earthly thing. It is a spiritual thing. So the 16th level of spiritual perfection is just that, okay? All right, and so it is, right? It's spiritual perfection, not earthly perfection, okay? Not earthly perfection, okay? And so reaching this 16th level of spiritual perfection and being able to do the things that Yeshua did, okay? Again, healing, leprosy, me at the age of 8, healing myself of seizures, never having another one, going on to have a very successful military career of 8 years, etc. Dialysis for 4.5 years, 16th level of spiritual perfection, and divine sources and ancestors help, receiving that kidney transplant on 7/7/17. Okay, this physical body is 51 today. 51, 51, 11/29/74, 11/11/11 breakdown. Okay, someone asked how old am I physically? Okay, yeah. Spiritually speaking, I can't give you that number. Spiritually speaking, I can't give you that number. All right. So yeah. All right. So this also speaks to a divine, sacred, transcendent state, the 16th level of spiritual perfection, the 16th level of spiritual perfection. Okay. There is a book that was released called the Pentacle of Holiness. The Pentacle of Holiness. Pentacle of Holiness. Okay. And welcome in. Thank you so much for tuning in, Faith. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. And this book, The Pentacle of Holiness, speaks to this 16th level of spiritual perfection. Okay. And this also deals with being completely immersed in the divine will of Most High. Again, on my way back from my visa run, those of you who are just tuning in, I got a download for the 16th level. When I woke up this morning, 16th level of spiritual perfection is what that is. And that's what we've been speaking on. Yeah, so I think that's it. Okay, I think that's it for the downloads since the last time we were on live. Okay, again, since that time I've done a visa run that took 12 hours. So when I got back to the hotel last night or yesterday at about 4 o'clock, okay, I ordered some food. Okay, ordered some dessert. Okay, I hadn't eaten anything well, I only ate I eat some unusual things, okay, some would say, okay? But years ago I was dating a Portuguese Korean woman, okay? Father Portuguese, mother Korean. And she got me into all these different Asian foods and all this sort of thing. And one of the things that I liked are dried are certain types of dried fish, okay? And they're little, they're little fish, right? And I'll show you, okay? Okay, so here's the bag that I brought, okay? While I was in Cambodia, okay, that I brought back with me. And they're crunchy, okay? A little spicy, okay? And so I eat some unusual things, perhaps some would be unusual, okay? But so I picked those up, okay, and snacked on those for a little bit right before my visa approval came through, and I was able to travel back to Vietnam yesterday. And after that 12-hour journey yesterday, I got to the room, and needless to say, I was very tired. Woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to catch a bus, okay? And so when I got back here, ordered some food, got a little dessert, and yeah, at about 8:30, I was done. Passed out, went to sleep, you know. And it's rare for me to sleep for 10 hours or rest for 10 hours, but I did. Okay. But I did. Okay. Again, that was because of the 12-hour journey. Okay. Standing in line for 30, 40 minutes with all these other individuals, okay, who are trying to get their passport stamped and all this sort of thing. Many lines to stand in, a lot of waiting, okay, a lot of sitting around, okay. So yeah, but I'm thankful again to be back where I am, and to have received the favor from Vietnam, okay, and Cambodia alike. All right. And so yeah, all right. I do want to remind us, okay, that the way that you get rid of karmic energy, okay, is not to fight them in the physical sense. Just like perfection is not a physical thing; it's a spiritual thing. Okay, so you want to know how you get rid of the spiritual attacks is you walk away and you starve that energy. Okay, confirmation, Bert. So we're going to get some confirmations for you, okay? If you have questions, feel free to ask. We do have several new listeners in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you who have been spiritually guided here, okay? If you have spiritual questions, okay, we will take those at this time, okay? I don't know when you're getting your inheritance, so please don't ask that question, okay? I do not know where you meant to go, okay, in the physical, where you're meant to travel to. I don't know that, okay? And no one really should know until you get there, okay? Do not go online posting, oh yeah, I'm traveling to Mozambique. You know what I mean? Okay? If you are in a spiritual battle, and you are, whether you realize that or not, don't go posting all your business on social media. Okay? There are places and things that I go that I do not post online, okay? Because it's nobody's business, okay? But mine and my ancestors and divine as they guide me. It's nobody else's business, okay? So if you want to get rid of the karmic energy, you starve them. It doesn't matter, okay? You starve them. Doesn't matter what the attacks are. You starve them, okay? Resist the devil and he will flee, okay? Resist the devil and he will flee. And that could be a sheep. So, you have spiritual questions, okay? You have spiritual questions at this time. I see 21 in the room and 26 likes. Thank you everyone for tuning in. 21, 26, okay? Speaks to maturity. 21, 26, 21, 26. Okay? Something about maturity at 26, okay? Think about your spiritual journey, okay? If you are physically beyond 26, what was happening in your 26th year, okay? Perhaps you were 26 spiritually when you were 21, so you were mature for your age. You were mature for your age, okay? At 21, I definitely would not consider myself mature. I did not. If you were to ask me at this time, okay? At the age of 21, I was just I had just entered the military in my first marriage, but I wasn't mature. I would not say that, okay? I would not say that about myself back then, okay? I was in some way still trying to be like Kevin, okay? I was in some way still trying to be like Kevin. Oh, okay. So you are, okay? You just come through the first 12 months. That's that Jubilee time, okay? You've just come through that first or second Jubilee, okay? But that year of your Jubilee, the year of Jubilee, again, it starts when you turn 49. And I just got a crown bump tap like that, okay? So it starts when you turn 49, okay? And so you turning 50, you have just closed out that year of Jubilee. You have just closed out that year of Jubilee. All right. And so let's go ahead and see. Okay, we'll pull a couple of cards. Okay, because that's a very good question. Okay, confirmation on the kidney donor. You're my favorite show. Okay, they were a living kidney donor. Thank you so much for being willing to give someone one of your blood filters. Okay, thank you so much for being willing. My blood filter. Okay, the one that I carry today. The one that I carry is located here. You can see the scar. Okay, it's located here. Okay, that is from a deceased. That was from a deceased. Okay, donor. Okay, was a 19-year-old. Okay, he was a 19-year-old. Okay, I do not know him. I do not know his family. For a long time, I was writing letters every anniversary. Okay, every anniversary, I would write a letter to the transplant coordinator at that hospital. Okay, who was the coordinator for my transplant and all of that. I would write her a letter, and I trust that she would pass that letter on to the family, and I would just express to them how I'm doing. Okay, and I did that for the first couple of years that I had this kid, probably the first 3 years. Confirmation, first 3 years or so that I had the transplant. Okay, and then I don't think I've sent any letters since the pandemic. Okay, so since 2020, I don't think I've sent any more letters. 2020 might have been the last year. Okay, and so yeah, all right. Thank you so much for being willing to offer someone one of your blood filters. Okay, and helping them continue their physical journey on this planet. I hope they are honoring that. I hope they are taking care of that. Okay, honoring that, taking care of that. I don't know that being. Okay, that 19-year-old, but I know I'm honoring them. Okay, and their lifetime here in that life, they only got to live physically 18 years. Okay, I know I'm honoring them. Okay, so let's take a look. I think it was only one. Let me take a look. Yeah, only one. Okay, so only one. Divine source. Let me shuffle all of it. Okay, divine source, only one was guided here. Okay, you took her to whatever news feed, whatever algorithm, whatever that was, confirmation. Okay, whatever that was, and yeah, so that this live video could show up, and we did it for a reason. Okay, he's obviously open to hearing whatever it is that you have to say spiritually. They are open to being spiritually guided. If they weren't, okay, they wouldn't be here, or they would show themselves karmic. But they appear to be in the upright. So we're going to get some energy for them, okay, as they've just closed out their year of Jubilee, okay, their year of 5-0, the year of their second Jubilee on the 3D. They've just closed that out. So we're going to get some energy, divine source. We invite their ancestors in, ascended masters, Sanhedrin council, okay, judge them, him or her, judge me, okay, Sanhedrin council, galactic federation, okay, council of light, archangels, Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Sandalphon, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Michael. Okay, we invite you in. 7 spirits of divine source. 7 spirits of divine source. We invite you in. Okay, so we have a King of Wands out here. We have a King of Wands out here, only one. We have a King of Wands out here. They are in the reverse. Okay, we have 7 of Cups energy out here in reverse. Mm. And we have a high priestess energy. It could be a high priest, okay? Out here in reverse, we have someone who's viewing you, okay? Someone who was remote viewing you, okay? Only one, okay? Did you recently walk away from someone, only one, or are you in the process of filing for divorce? Did you recently walk away? When I say recently, I mean like this year. I mean this year. Hello, Dinky. Good to see you again. Okay. Uh, Asha, it's not my job to know what your future holds. It's your job to meditate, be celibate, okay, and do your spiritual work. I can't tell you what your, okay. How long ago, only one, did you walk away from this individual? How long ago? Or when did you file the papers? You know, time frame. And Asha, that's nothing against you, okay? Only one asked the specific question, what's in it for their 50th year, their year of Jubilee, okay? Um, and this is just the framework here, just the framework. You said, tell me about your future. That's a broad ass question, okay? That's a broad ass question. Okay, all right, okay, so that makes sense, okay? So we have upright out here. We have Eight of Cups energy, okay? And I'm going to show you all of the energy out here in reverse, okay? Okay. So this individual, okay, with these Seven of Cups in reverse, this individual could have had many options, okay? They could have had many options out here, okay? You deciding to walk away, okay? And this remote viewing, okay? This remote viewing card out here, okay? So they are still watching you, okay? They could be trying to pry in. Hello, B, okay? Yeah, it is, okay? Um, when you say you have a person, that's someone you're dating, okay? Is that someone you're dating? I don't see anything out here that speaks to longevity, okay? Longevity, but, okay, that's a lot of cups with the Eight of Cups. Hello, B. Thank you so much for tuning in and bringing your energy, okay? And with this Seven of Cups out here also, okay, that's 15, 15, okay? Eight of Cups, Seven of Cups, 15. Okay. So someone out here, okay, this could have been someone that you thought was a divine partner of yours with that High Priestess card coming out here in reverse, okay? You could have thought they were a divine masculine or divine feminine. For those of you that are tuning in for the first time, a divine masculine can be a male or a female. A divine feminine can be a male or a female, okay? Don't let some low vibrational energy reader out here tell you, okay, or speak in terms of a divine masculine only being a male. So if they say divine masculine and all they ever speak to is the he of that energy, I would unsubscribe to them. If they always speak, if they speak to the divine feminine energy and they only speak to the she of the divine energy, I would unsubscribe and stop listening to them because they do not understand that we all carry both masculine and feminine energy, and it has nothing to do with a coochie or a wand. Okay? It has nothing to do with you being able to grow hair on your chest. Some women can grow hair on it. It has nothing to do with being able to grow hair on your chest, okay? Or what's between your legs. It has everything to do with what's your spiritual journey here, okay? It has everything to do with that. Divine feminines are spiritual teaching energies, okay? Divine masculines, okay, are earthly wealth builders. That is the difference. That is the difference. That doesn't mean that divine feminines are to live poor. That doesn't mean divine feminines are to not have money or be wealthy or be successful or anything like that. It's about your focus. Your focus. Okay? So I always use the same energies, or often, okay? So a Barbara Corcoran, Shark Tank, okay? That cutie pie. Barbara Corcoran, this lifetime, is in her divine, and I don't know if she's divine, but as an example, a divine masculine energy if she's a high vibrational spirit, okay? That would represent someone who is a female, but they get their wealth, okay, through earthly investments, okay, business, okay, that's how they get their wealth, okay, that is their focus every day, investing in businesses, helping other entrepreneurs, that is how they get their wealth. That is a divine masculine energy. And again, I don't know where Barbara is on her spiritual journey, but that is an earthly example, okay? What's a spiritual example of a divine feminine energy that is a male? That is myself. Or if you want to use somebody who is, I don't know, not me, and you want, I don't know, a bigger, larger than life example, Yeshua. Yeshua was a divine feminine energy when they were here. They were not concerned about the earthly wealth. They were not focused on, the real estate. They were not focused on the lands and the camel and the sheep and all the goats and all the whatevers. They were not focused on those things, okay? They were focused on helping others raise their vibration, the spiritual truths associated with this journey on this planet. Yeshua was a divine feminine energy. They are falsely called Jesus. Their name is not Jesus, and they were not Latin. Okay? If you have any pictures of a blonde-haired, blue-eyed image that you were raised to believe was Yeshua, I would destroy all of those pictures today. Today, because they were not. They were born in the Middle East. Okay? They were born in the Middle East. Okay? All right? And they had olive skin and black or brown hair. Okay? So, yeah. Confirmation on the 1010. Hello, thank you so much for tuning in, Karen. Hello, Shining. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Anyone else that I missed during that time? Okay. Yeah. All right. So for you, okay, only for you, only one. There is someone who out here, again, this could be the one you divorced officially, paperwork in September 26th. Okay, on September 26th, 9/26 could be significant for someone else in this collective. Someone's remote viewing you because you did walk away. This is the only card out here in the upright with the tarot. It's the only card out here in the tarot that is upright. Okay? Okay? I don't know if that's a typing mistake, Dink, okay? But you don't have to love learning from me. I don't know if that was a typing mistake. You don't have to love learning from me, Dink, okay? You can take your ass out, okay? You can take your ass out, Dink. And again, I don't know if that was a typing error. I don't know what that was. But if that's truthful energy, Dink, you can exit, buddy, okay? You can get out. Okay, Ashel. Okay, so that's a fair question. That's a fair question. Okay. Yeah, because that message says, I don't enjoy learning from you. So, again, anyone who doesn't enjoy learning from me through this channel, you don't have to keep your ass here. You know what I'm saying? You do not have to stay here. Nobody's forcing you to. Okay? Nobody's forcing you to. So that's a fair question, Asha. What is blocking my spiritual growth at this time? Okay? So I will answer this question in a simplistic way, and then I will answer it in whatever additional way the divine source wants to share, Asha. Okay? Okay. Thank you so much, only one. Okay, for to being open to what Spirit has to say. It's not about me. Okay, because I'm not in for the fanfare. You know what I mean? Okay. I started to speak about a moment ago as we get ready for some clarity for Asha, and someone was speaking to branding and all that sort of thing. One of my challenges here in the 3D is not doing shit for show. Okay? Not doing shit for show. Okay? Oh, yeah, no problem, Dinky. No problem. Okay? Is not doing shit for show. Okay? That's why I don't have all these things flying around me, butterflies, images, and all this stuff created by AI or whatever else. I just simply come on, click record, earbuds in, connect it, and light some incense, turn on some frequency on the TV, and we channel. Okay? And we receive. I hear from you, you hear from me, no fanfare. No fanfare. Because I'm just not like that. I'm just not like that. Okay? Yes, I'm as comfortable in a tuxedo as I am in jeans and a t-shirt. I prefer the jeans and the t-shirt because that's just how I am. That's just how I am. Okay? I prefer the jeans and the t-shirt. Okay? So, yeah. Someone asked recently, what's the weather like here? I think they asked that in one of the community posts. It is 88 to 90 degrees every day here in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Every 365. It is 88, typically 88 to 90 degrees every day in Ho Chi Minh City or in Vietnam. That is my kind of weather. Flip-flop kind of weather. So often when we come on these lives, I crack open the door so we can hear on the balcony. I crack open the door so we can hear some confirmations, horn honks, or whatever happens, birds tweeting, what cats meowing, what are cats fighting, whatever it happens to be, okay? And in that, I sometimes show up with my shirt on. Why? I don't know, because it's my channel and I can do that if I want to. You know what I mean? It's your party and you cry if you want to. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it, Asha. Let's see. Okay. Asha, are you an employee? Are you an employer? Okay. Or what have you? Are you self-reliant? Okay. Or do you go to a job? Okay. Are you self-reliant, Asha, or do you go to a job? Oh, thanks, Shiny. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So, on a surface level, in a simplistic way, Asha. Okay. There are things. What could be blocking you? Okay. And then again, we'll get into the spiritual side of current energy message type of thing for you. Okay. All right. So, three things, Asha. Okay. So if you do not meditate on the regular basis, and when I say on the regular basis, I mean every day, okay? I mean every day. You need to be taking out time to be in quiet, to be in solitude, okay? You have a job, so you have a commitment, okay? And divine is not necessarily saying leave that job, but you need to find some time. You need to find some time. This might require you to wake up an hour earlier than what you do, Asha, okay? You need to find some time to spend with divine source and your energy alone, okay? Your ancestors and your spiritual guides, okay? The ascended masters. You need to separate some time for that. And again, if you need to wake up an hour early, that's what you need to do, okay? The other thing, Asha, if you are not married, and even if you are, okay, I would trust that they understand your spiritual journey and they are on this walk with you, okay? And they are on this walk with you, okay? So divine does not cheer for divorce, okay? But divine definitely co-signs and stamps divorce papers, okay? When the Bible speaks of, okay, the man who finds a wife finds a good thing, okay? Do you know what that's speaking of? That is speaking confirmation horn. That is speaking of divine unions only, okay? So if somebody is out for you, with you, okay? Somebody's into you just for the booty. Wrong answer. Somebody's into you just because of the status. If you told somebody today, business owners, okay, CEOs, okay, if you told somebody today, hey, I'm going to sell my business, and it's a multi-million-dollar business, and they're like, what, how are we gonna live, how are we gonna, okay, yeah, pay attention to that, okay, pay attention to that, okay, because if you tell somebody that you, earth wealth builder, are getting ready to sell a multi-million-dollar business, the first question, if there is a question, should be, okay, how can I help? Okay, what's the plan? What would you like to do after you sell the business? Okay, that's what it should be. Okay, so Asha, since you go to work for someone, you need to dedicate time. Also, if you are giving your cooch or your wand to somebody and you are not in a union, divine union, okay, you need to cut that shit out, okay, because that is impeding your journey. You're blocking. You want to know what's blocking you? Okay. If you have not cleansed your sacral energy, if you have not grounded yourself, 7 main chakras are the full armor of God in Ephesians. Okay. Your 7 main chakras are the full armor of God. The breastplate of righteousness, that's your heart chakra. The breastplate of righteousness, as an example, that is your heart chakra. Okay. And it speaks about these things, but again, the religious text and those who have put that together, the Roman Catholic Church, Vatican, and others, okay, they have put it in such a way where it doesn't speak to spirituality, okay, but it speaks to a commitment to reading a religious book, okay? But that is your 7 main chakras, your root, your sacral, your solar plexus, your heart chakra, your throat chakra, your third eye, and your crown. Okay? Okay? So, okay, Asha, let me ask you this question then. Are they ascending with you? Asha, let me ask you this question. Okay? And anyone who I ask questions to in this live, they can lie. Divine knows the truth. You can lie to me if you want to. It doesn't matter to me and it doesn't affect my journey. Asha, let me ask you a question. Okay? You're sitting here listening to a Master Builder 33, a master teacher. Let me ask you a question. Are they ascending with you? Are they on the spiritual journey with you? Or are they sitting in the background, okay, while going on about their earthly ways, while you are the one, okay, who's embracing the spiritual journey? Which is it? Okay. All right. And that's fair. Thank you for your honesty and transparency. That's fair. Okay. So there are three things, Asha, that are required. Okay. Meditation, celibacy, and isolation. Okay. And when I say isolation, again, because you have a job, that means a dedicated time. So you wake up in the morning, again, to share my spiritual ritual with you in the morning. Wake up in the morning, okay? Wake up in the morning, and I take three of these, okay? Three of these sage incense, okay? And I burn them, okay? Three of them, and I burn them, okay? I do not jump out of bed right away. I lay in bed, physically awake for a time and a moment. I thank Divine Source for their protection over me, my spiritual guides. I thank Divine Source for any dreams, esoteric travels that may have happened, okay? I wake up, I wash my face, okay? And I drink some water is the first thing that I consume, okay? Not coffee, not tea, water, okay? And then I may sit outside. Hello, Alicia. And then I may sit outside, okay, and spend some time. If the sun's already up, if Rod's already up, okay, I may sit outside and enjoy some sun, enjoying some vitamin C or what have you, okay, or vitamin D, excuse me, or what have you, okay. But I drink water first thing in the morning, okay, and then I do typically a 15-minute meditation, or at a minimum a 15-minute meditation, okay? Sometimes I do this meditation before I even physically step out of bed, okay? So, Asha, if you do not have a morning ritual process, I encourage you to embrace one. And it doesn't have to be exactly like that. Your spirit guides, okay, they are speaking, confirmation. Your spirit guides are speaking, Asha, okay? So ask Divine Source, how would you like me to do this morning ritual process, okay? If your man rolls over, Asha, okay, and the first thing they want to do in the morning is get some, okay, again, that's a decision for you to make, okay? Because they can stay with you, okay? But at some point, you will become so spiritually elevated, okay, to where they will no longer serve a purpose in your life if they do not accompany you. Okay, so, all right, so let's go ahead and get a couple of energy pulls for Asha. This is not what I intended to do when I came on, but again, formal channel name, The Real Psychic Investigators, now Esoteric Wisdom and Spiritual Truths. So let it be, divine, let it be. Hello, lovely. Okay. Yeah, it really does. It really does. It does wonders for your day. It really does. And alchemizing the energy that was there during the night. Okay? Alchemizing the energy that was there during the night. It really does. Right? So Divine Source, let's go ahead and take a look. Divine Source, ancestors of Asha, whoever that being is, you know them. They know you. They were guided here. I think this is their first time tuning in. Okay? So let's go ahead and find out. So we have 10 of Pentacles, okay? We have some credit cards out here, okay? We have the 3 of Swords out here, that is in reverse, and we have the Tower message, and the Tower message, okay? So I'm going to show you this, Asha, okay? Okay. And we have a Magician out here in the reverse, okay? So I'm going to show you these cards, Asha, as they came out, all right? Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, again, 3 of Swords. Okay, 10 of Swords in reverse, credit cards, and a Tower, and a Magician in the reverse. Okay, so this is definitely speaking to something being done to your love journey. Okay, Asha. Okay, again, whether or not you're aware of the being who's responsible for that or not. Okay, Magician in reverse speaks to whatever that is not working. Okay, same thing with the 10 of Swords in reverse. Okay, that energy not coming near you, that energy not touching you, you alchemizing that energy. That is what your spiritual rituals do. Okay, when you start your day off that way, like who said that? Lovely. Okay, Lovely said that. Okay. Okay. There could be something about the name Tisha. Okay, Tisha, like Tisha Campbell. Okay. So 3 of Swords energy in reverse. Okay. Again, this speaks to someone who is up to some trickery. Okay. In regards to your love life, someone who's trying to prevent you from receiving divine love. We're going to read this Tower card here for you, Asha. Hello, Queen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, Queen. Okay. Okay, here we go. Asha, the number 16. Someone said it earlier. 1 6 equals 7, breaks down to a 7. Okay. Somebody said it in the chat earlier, and they literally put 1 6 equals 7. They said that, Asha. All right. So that could resonate for your birthday. One of the individuals who's been energetically in this magician energy, okay, trying to impede your love journey, okay. You said you were in a long-term relationship, okay. That's a lot of sacral exchange energy. You've given a lot to them. They've given a lot to you energetically. I kept delaying my comfort zone of bad habits. Now, all has fallen apart and I'm forced to face my pain in a rough way. I'm going to read that card again. I kept delaying leaving my comfort zone of bad habits. This could be the long-term relationship, Sunshine. This could be the long-term relationship. But now, all has fallen apart and I'm forced to face my pain in a rough way. So whoever that individual is right there, okay, they are in this energy. Okay? So, yeah. And they could be with you. Why is this credit card energy out here? Okay, they could be with it, with you. Okay, or within it. Okay, because it's a better financial situation for them. Okay, so your money together, okay, creates a better income situation. Okay. Not more than you should, okay? Just as you ought to. Not more than you should, just as you ought to. Okay? And so it could be, okay, that the situation has become so comfortable for them, okay? They don't want to pay rent on their own. They don't want to have to go look for another place. Maybe you don't want to have to go look for another place, okay? Because the longer you stay with someone, physically speaking, the more comfortable the situation can become, especially if you both started out at the same level, okay, energetically, okay? So they could be comfortable with you, and that's why they don't want to leave. You could be comfortable with them, okay? And you don't want to have to pay for a place by yourself. You don't want to have to carry the bills by yourself, whatever bills those are, okay? Or what have you. Why this credit card came out here. Okay? So there you go. Okay? There you go, Asher. All right? So, divine source, what else is there that we should get into? Okay. Again, as Divine has changed the channel name from the Real Psychic Investigators, he's also changing, amplifying the spirit beings that are guided here. Okay, the spirit beings that are guided here. Okay, those of you who connected with me through the Real Psychic Investigation or Investigator energy, thank you so much. So many of you send me great love. So many of you are telepathic. So many of you are telecommunicative. So many of you. Okay, thank you so much for all that you do. Okay. Yes, it's a pleasure to do what Divine has guided me to do, Asha. Thank you so much for being open to the energy, open to the marriage, or open to the marriage. Okay, so there's a marriage. Okay, open to the marriage, Asha. Spiritual marriage. Okay, spiritual marriages. Okay, again, you meet a male. Okay, and you are a male, but you become best friends. That's an energetic. Okay, that's an energetic marriage. Okay. I know someone who tunes in on a regular basis here, and I call them a brother from the same spiritual mother. Hello, Isabella. I call them a brother from the same spiritual mother. All right. I talked about Steve earlier. Steve was born on the 330th day of the year. I was birthed on the 333rd day of the year this lifetime. But again, Steve did not want to awaken. He did not want to ascend. He did not want to get out of religiousness. Steve, born on the 330th day of the year. Okay? That is the same day that anime Bullock Tina Turner was birthed this lifetime. Okay? That we knew her as Tina Turner. 11/26. 11/26. Okay? So, yeah. What does Divine want to do? Okay? We're just going to flip some cards. Okay? Flip some cards. Isabella, we've been answering. Okay? Getting confirmations and guidance for other spiritual wisdoms, spiritual truths, esoteric wisdoms. Okay? We're going to flip some cards here out of the stack. Okay? These are the stacks. Okay? So we're just going to flip some cards here and see what Divine Source wants to share, okay, before we go. 24 in the room, 39 likes. Thank you all so much for tuning in, okay? She is licking her bestie. America will one day be a desolate land. Priscilla, Priest, Price. Time for a deep energy cleansing, somebody. Time for a deep energy cleansing. So the message is out here. Priscilla, Priest, or something about a priest, okay? Price. I don't know if I would call it fun, Christine. It was a 12-hour journey, okay? So I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday morning, okay? Friday morning, woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to take this 2-hour bus ride, okay? To sit on the Vietnam-Cambodian border for how many hours, and then a 2-hour trip back to the hotel. So fun. It was exciting to be on the Cambodian-Vietnam border, you know what I mean? That sort of thing, but fun, I wouldn't list it as fun, you know? I wouldn't list it as fun, but I'm glad that I received the favor that I did on the journey, protection, and so on and so forth, right? Thank you so much for asking, okay? And then I got back to the hotel, ordered food, and passed out and slept for 10 hours. I can't tell you the last time I rested this physical body for 10 hours. Typically, 5 hours of sleep is enough. Typically, 5 hours of sleep is enough. Okay? All right? But thank you so much for asking. All right? Priscilla Priest Price, she is licking her bestie, and America will one day be a desolate land. I'm going to show you all of these cards. Okay? And put another card behind that so you can see that better. Oh, yeah. So that was the ceremony the night before. I went on my visa run. So again, I've had a very long 48 hours. So that puja, okay, or that class, that lesson, it was a ceremony and teaching by the Buddhist master teacher that I met here in the hotel. And so I was invited to go to this ceremony and celebration, okay? And so we go, okay? And it was about 3 hours that we were at this temple, okay? That's a long ass time. So we get back to the hotel. It's about 11 o'clock in the evening on Thursday. And I have to wake up at 3 o'clock on Friday morning for this visa run that I already have scheduled. I already bought the bus ticket, already everything's already in place. So I have to get up. Okay? So get back to the hotel at 11 o'clock Thursday night. Gotta be back up at 3 o'clock on Friday morning. Okay? So I probably got an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, squeezed in 2 hours of sleep. Okay? And then boom. Okay? 12 hours, okay, for this visa run to complete. 12 hours later, I'm back in the hotel. I was tired. Okay, I was tired, all right, physically speaking, okay? So, all right, so here's one or two of the messages, okay, when I flipped over the stack, okay? So there could be a priest out here licking someone, okay? There could be a nun out here. I know that there are investigators that still tune in, okay? Here we go with the messages, okay? This is what we have. Let me put it like that, okay? Okay? Queen, I'm not sure what you're referencing when you say that's not rest. I'm not sure what you're talking about, okay? But there are things that need to be done in the physical, okay? I'm not sure what you're talking about when you say that's not rest, okay? I don't know what that means, okay? But I'll kick your ass off my fucking channel in a minute, okay? In a minute. And in fact, less than 30 seconds, okay? So, I'm not sure what that reference is. All right. So let's go ahead and get some more energy here. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what else Divine wants to flip out. Okay. Someone could be flipping out. Divine, what else you want to flip out? Divine could be flipping out. Okay. For you. All right. For you. Okay. What else, Divine? What other confirmations? Okay. We have disappearing act energy out here. Disappearing act energy out here. Queen, I'm going to ask you to clarify your message, okay? Queen, I'm going to ask you to clarify your message, okay? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, the last 48 hours, yeah, very. So, I needed, when I got back to the hotel last night or yesterday, okay? All right. I was going to delete you immediately, Eva, okay? I was going to delete you immediately, but I'm going to let your ass sit in here and we'll see what happens. I was going to delete you immediately, Eva, but we'll give you a couple seconds. We have SWAT at the door. We have SWAT at the door, a Ponzi scheme, the name Stephanie, okay? Oh shit, I was talking about Steve, and now we have Steve is or was covering up for somebody. We have Steve. I've been mentioning the name Steve. This doesn't have to be that Steve, obviously, okay? I just pay attention to your energy, okay? This empath, this pays attention to the energy, okay? So, again, I'm just paying attention. That's all. Just letting you know that I'm already aware of you. Just letting you know that I'm already aware of you. Okay? I don't know what you did. Okay? SWAT agents at their door. Okay? SWAT agents at their door, a Ponzi scheme. Okay? A Ponzi scheme. The name Stephanie. Take a look, okay? Take what easily fits for your journey. Take what easily fits for your journey. Okay? So there's a Steve that was lying for someone, covering for someone, okay? SWAT agents, Stephanie, okay? All right? And a Ponzi scheme, okay? A Ponzi scheme, okay? So a Ponzi scheme is a financial endeavor where someone is taking money from new investors to pay off older investors. So if I run a Bitcoin scheme, confirmation, Bert. If I run a Bitcoin scheme, okay, I get investors, I get 5 of you, okay, to give me 500,000 or give me $1,000, okay? So that's $5,000. 5 of you give me $5,000, okay, or give me $1,000. I take that $5,000, okay, and I spend it, I blow it, I whatever on whatever I want to spend it on. Then, okay, because you were promised that you were going to receive these dividend checks every month. Dividend checks every month. So then I take the $5,000 though, and I go blow it. I do whatever I want to do. Snort it, sniff it, inject it, whatever. Party with it, whatever I want to do. Okay? Oh, okay. Oh, see, Ava, I didn't even say, I'm not even paying attention to your dumbass messages. Okay? I'm not even paying, I've already moved on. I said, okay, they're here for high vibrational reasons. I'm not even paying attention to your stupid ass fucking messages, bitch. Okay? And you still babbling on. You're still babbling on. I had given you grace and mercy. I thought you were here for upright reasons. Your dumb ass is still apparently a karmic motherfucker. Okay? Because I wasn't even paying attention to your energy. There was grace and mercy here for you that has just run out. What are you talking about? I had moved on with the energy. And now you're talking about I'm the one? Okay. Goodbye, bitch. Okay? Goodbye. Okay? Get your dumb ass off my channel. Okay? Get your dumb ass off my fucking channel. Okay? I wasn't even paying attention to whatever they were saying. I'm thinking we're good. You know what I mean? I'm thinking we're good. Oh yes. Okay. Well, Ava, you here for good reasons? Okay, no problem. You're here for good reasons. Okay, we're good. No problem. Then she showed her ass. Okay? Then she showed her ass. For what? For what, people? Okay? For what? Okay? Again, I hadn't said anything else to that being other than, oh, okay, Ava. All right, well, thank you so much for tuning in. And we just carry on. They were bothered simply by the fact that I said I'm an empath and I can pick up on their energy. Okay? They were simply bothered. Okay? Like, what? Yeah, like get the fuck out of here. Okay? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, collective, sometimes you open the door, okay, for the roach to get out. Okay, you're like, okay, roach, get out, get out. You try to sweep the roaches out. You give them an opportunity to live on, just not live on in your house, in your energy. You give them an opportunity. Okay, roach, open the door, sweep you out, okay? And the roach still keeps trying to come back in, right? No, I said go out. I don't want to kill your ass. I don't want to kill your ass, okay? But you keep trying to come back into my house, roach. Go down, walk down the street. Go on down the street, roach. But they refuse to. So then you just go, you know what I mean? Yeah. okay? For me, okay, my Leo, okay, my Leo, my lion strength energy, okay, is in Venus, Leo Venus, Leo Venus, okay, know thyself, Leo Venus, Leo Venus, okay? And right on there, okay, look at that. Right when they decided to come through karmic, divine is giving me all the confirmations for me that I need. Right here, Eye of Horus, okay? Right here, Eye of Horus, right here, okay? All three of these cards. And again, not bragging, okay? It's to show them, okay? To show Eva right here, okay? Right here, right here. Okay? Because divine source created it all, Jose. Okay? Because divine source created it all. Okay? You have been other beings, Jose. Okay? You have been other beings. Okay? I hope that you love animals, Jose. I hope you are not an animal killer for reckless reasons, Jose. Okay? I hope you love all of divine's creatures, Jose. Because divine created them all, Jose. That's why. That's why. Okay? And again, you can get your karmic ass kicked out of here too, just like Eva did. Just saying, Jose. Just saying. Okay? Just saying, Jose. Just saying. Okay? So, now that we've gotten rid of that lying, scheming, scamming, some word that starts with a C and ends in a aunt. I'm going to let you figure that out, collective. Some name that starts lying, scheming, scamming, starts with a C and ends in a aunt. I'm going to let you figure that one out. Okay? Divine source, let's go ahead and continue to get some energy out here. Okay? Confirmations for those who are tuning in, those who are listening, genuinely listening. Okay? Genuinely listening. Okay? What else do we have? We have a Don Juan. She is lying. A Janet. A Jansen. Okay? Someone's name ends in ski. Okay? Ends in ski. If your name ends in ski, what does that mean? Does that mean you're Polish? Or what does, like, if your last name ends in ski, what does that mean? Okay? We have, she is lying. Okay? We have an undiagnosed, yes, like that ski. Okay? We have a Don Juan energy out here. Polish. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Justice. Okay? Or just call me. I always call you Justice. Just call me Step. Okay? So, she is lying. A Don Juan. Okay? Could be Donna. Okay? A Donna player. Okay? A Donna player. Okay? A Donna. Okay? Okay? Oh, let me. Jansen. Someone who's Polish. Janet. Okay? It could be pronounced Jeanette. Okay? Jeanette or Janet. Okay? And Jansen. Okay? Jansen. She's lying. Undiagnosed illness. Jeanette, Janet, Jansen, or someone who is Polish. Okay? What else, Divine Source? We continue to move, continue to move. It is 1055, okay? 10:55 here in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. 10:55 in the morning on Saturday. 10:55 in the morning on Saturday. Okay? Thank you so much, everyone, for the love. Okay? Drink more water. There's a yes. Drink more water. There's a yes out here. Okay? Drink more water. There's a yes. The name Cora, Ruby, Esther. Okay? Esther Hicks. Shout out to Esther Hicks. Okay? Shout out. That is Abraham Hicks. Shout out to Abraham Hicks. That is another truth speaker here. Okay? We had truth speaker showing. That is a truth speaker in the 3D. Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks, Abraham Hicks. That is another truth speaker here in the 3D this lifetime. Okay? And we have old school music. Okay? So, you could be getting downloads for this old school music. Okay? Again, in the last live, we were talking a lot about the spirit of Whitney Houston and her journey here that lifetime. Okay? When she was known as Whitney Houston. And how drugs and Bobby Brown was not the upright path for her. What I will say about what I will say about that, 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 what I will say about that. So Whitney Houston, okay, this lifetime, she had a high vibrational connection to a Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner was Whitney Houston's way out. Listen to me. Listen to me. Okay? He was her bodyguard in The Bodyguard. They had a genuine high vibrational connection. Kevin Costner was Whitney Houston's way out. Listen to me. In truth, go read the story about Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston's true 3D connection. True 3D connection. Yeah, for real. He was for real. For real. Okay? But she wouldn't accept it. Okay? She wouldn't accept his love. Kevin, right here. Yeah, she wouldn't accept it. She would not accept it. And so, she took Bobby Brown, okay? Someone who was also addicted to drugs at the same time she was, okay? Yes, Kevin Costner, Isabella, Kevin Costner, okay? Whitney Houston, Kevin Costner, The Bodyguard. Interestingly, the movie The Bodyguard, he was hired to be her bodyguard. There's spiritual meaning there. He was hired to be her spiritual bodyguard. She didn't want it. She didn't want it. Even for a time in the movie, she didn't want it. She didn't want it. So she chose Bobby Brown, and her life ended at the age of 48. Okay? So, this is how significant and important it is, okay, for you to pay attention and to only accept, okay, high vibrational beings into your life. And when you realize someone's karmic, okay, she could have already been involved with Bobby Brown at that time of the making of The Bodyguard. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. True love loss. True love loss. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hope when you come back, Spirit of Whitney Houston, I hope you get it right, girl. Whitney Elizabeth Houston. I hope you get it right next time, girl. I hope you get it right. I don't know if the spirit of Kevin will be back. Probably not. Okay, but I hope you get it. I hope you get it right, Whitney. I hope you get it right next time. Okay. Next, we have Bosnia-Herzegovina. We have beauty spells. Evil stepmother is a witch in Eastern Star confirmation nose itch. And we have sex crimes. These sex crimes, some of which could be happening right now in Bosnia-Herzegovina. Investigators, collective. Beauty spells, okay? and an evil stepmother that's in a secret society. Okay? It doesn't have to be Eastern Stars. Okay? It could be any other. Okay? This could just be the church. Okay? This could just be co-workers. This could just be her and her sisters. Okay? So, there you go. Good question, Christina. If someone leaves too, oh, you mean physically speaking? No, I don't know. It's not in all ways. No, absolutely not. It's not in all ways. All right, it's not in all ways. Okay, I don't believe the warlock. Okay, associated with my journey, I don't believe he'll be back here ever. No, mm-mm. No, no. Some run out of chances. Okay, some run out of opportunities. Okay, to come back into wherever they are. Okay, this is not the only planet that contains beings. Okay, I'm going to say that again. This is not the only planet or realm 3D. This is not the only 3D in all of creation. There are other places in the 3D where there are beings that walk the planets. Okay, but no, I don't believe that always. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So confirmation for lovely. Okay. All right. I think we're gonna go ahead and tie it up here. Yeah. Okay. Some just run out of time. Okay, Christine, and for others, they're just not given another opportunity. Okay. It could be because they made such a mess when they were here in that last incarnation. It could be for a number of reasons. Okay. It could be it could be divine source simply saying, "Hey, I realize, okay, that that is not a place for you," and the spirit could change so much to where, you know, they can't come back. Okay, we have one of the messages out here. We got America will one day be a desolate land. Okay, so again, oh, she could, Christine. That's not to say she won't. Okay, but you said, do I believe all? Okay, and that is all encompassing. Okay, or you said always. Okay, that's all encompassing. Okay, that's like 100% without a guarantee. Never, ever, ever any other option. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't believe always. I don't believe that strong. I don't. No, I don't believe that. Okay. Again, always is an absolute word. It's an app always, 100%, without question. It happens, guaranteed, no doubt about it. Yeah, I always return. No, okay, but obviously we do. Okay, we do. Okay, they do. Okay, I'm reminded of James Dean and Heath Ledger. Okay, James Dean and Heath Ledger. James Dean and Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger. Okay? Oh, no problem. Okay, no problem. James Dean and Heath Ledger. Okay, something about those two spirit beings. Okay? Or it's one spirit being. Okay? So last lifetime, they were James Dean, died young in a car accident. This lifetime around, Heath Ledger, I don't know, how did Heath Ledger go? I don't even remember, but however it was, okay? So, James Dean and Heath Ledger. Go look at pictures and compare James Dean and Heath Ledger. Go take a look, okay? Go take a look. All right, Divine. Okay, so you've helped some. Okay, there are those who are tuning in for the first time. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, and welcome into Esoteric Wisdom and Spiritual Truths. My name is Nehru. I am a spiritual guide here on the planet for the 10th and final time. And I'm here to help us do what we really truly want to do, whether we recognize that or not. Oh, it was an overdose. Okay? That's possible, certainly. That's possible, Isabella. Okay, it's possible. Okay. Um, like everyone else, okay, who really truly, okay, want to become our highest, purest, truest self. I am here not only as a demonstration of how to do that, I am here to help others do that as well. That is my journey here. Okay? Yeah, Shining. I'm not surprised. Okay? Not surprised at all. Okay? Well, I know that there are those of you, including Shining, okay? You have deja vu moments. Okay? Those deja vu moments are confirmation. Okay? Those deja vu moments are confirmation. Okay? So, thank you so much, everyone. I think that's going to be it. Okay. So, yeah, tune in again soon, okay, when we are back. Okay, again, I remind those of you who are interested, we will be covering more of the according gospel of Yeshua the Christ. They are currently in that canonical text. They are currently 24 years old. That's nowhere in your Bible. 24 years old. This canonical text was released in 1908, or translated and released in 1908. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty restful, pretty rested at this time. Okay. Oh, thank you always. Thank you always. Okay. I'm feeling pretty rested again. I got, 8+ hours of rest, physical sleep. That's highly unusual for me. But again, I've had a long 48 hours. So, okay. Going back to the Buddhist ceremony Thursday evening. Okay. Hello, Divine Waters. Okay. So yeah, all right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. Again, we will be going live 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I'm only mentioning this. I might be on before then, but I'm mentioning the live at 10 a.m. Eastern time because it is a canonical read. We were once sharing those on Esoteric Guidance, Extraterrestrial Earth Angel. That is a shadow band channel here on YouTube. Okay. But we are bringing those canonical readings over here. In that journey, okay, Yeshua is currently 24 years old, 24, and he is in India. India in our reading, 24 and in India. Okay? If you are able to listen in, I encourage you to listen in. Okay? If you are interested in truths beyond what the shallow, simplistic readings are, okay, of the Bible, I encourage you to listen in. Okay? Thank you so much as always. Oh, it's my pleasure, Shining. It's always my pleasure. Okay? And I've missed you. Okay? I've missed you all. I've missed you. Okay? Connecting with you in this way, exchanging, okay, dialogue, okay, over the time that I had to travel and get visa and all that other renewed and all that other sort of thing. Okay? So it's good to be, okay, back with you in this way. Thank you so much as always for tuning in, and be encouraged.